Logitech G MX518 opinion. The Logitech MX518 is a mouse that doesn't need an introduction if you have been an avid PC gamer for some time. If not, here's some trivia for you. The series first showed up in 2002 with the debuting MX500 model, which can be considered as the grandpa of this line of Logitech gaming mice. It was very successful, but only its third iteration, the MX518, became an absolute legend. I'm sure many readers still use the original MX518 to this day. It was made to last, and it did last for many years. It had two more direct successors in the G400 and G400S, but the latter was discontinued after the G402 first showed up. Needless to say, many people were upset since the G402 was way different in terms of ergonomics, which had it provide an entirely different feel. Logitech realized this, better late than never, and the GMX518, or MX518 Legendary, was born. It features exactly the same shape as the original models, but uses Logitech's flagship Hero sensor, which is capable of 16,000 CPI resolution, a 1000 Hz refresh rate, and self-calibrating liftoff distance. The cable, mouse feet, and some surface materials also got updated, and the weight is a tad lower than on previous iterations. People got upset when the Logitech G400S was discontinued and the well-renowned MX500 line seemingly died out without an heir. Thankfully, about half a decade later, the GMX518 emerged, featuring that good old shape, but renewed with some fantastic features. It's a big, right-handed ergonomic mouse and will in my opinion mostly suit palm grippers with hands greater than 17 cm because of its shell design. Its surface coating is similar to the old models as well, the top being glossy and the sides matte. Build quality is ridiculously good. Logitech did a fantastic job here. The whole mouse is extremely sturdy, and I couldn't make it emit any squeaking or creaking sounds whatsoever. It weighs about 103 grams with a little bit of cable, which is fair for its size, and it's pretty well balanced, too. The mouse doesn't feel sluggish in use, and I know most users love its weight, but I'd still prefer something a bit lighter, which is mostly a matter of personal preference. There are 8 fully programmable buttons on the GMX518, and they are pretty good, but not the best I've ever seen. The main clickers are nice and tactile with only a negligible amount of post-travel after actuation. They use Omron D2FC F7N switches rated for 20 million clicks. The scroll wheel is exactly the same as on the predecessors, which means it's an optically encoded model that uses a spring for the clicking mechanism. It's not the most accurate, and I much prefer mechanical encoders, but again, this is a personal preference. The middle button is rather heavy, tiring to use in the long run, and with above average travel. The side and top circle buttons feel good as they are easily accessible but not in the way. I never accidentally clicked them. Moving on to the sensor, it's just fantastic. Logitech's Hero model consumes extremely little power, which doesn't really matter on a wired model, has fantastic responsiveness, and a brutally high perfect control speed. It's raw and has no issues I could detect. There's no smoothing, input lag, or any sort of acceleration. The resolution can be set from 100 to 16,000 CPI, and there are the usual 125 to 1000 Hz polling rate options. Liftoff distance is very low by default, and the sensor automatically calibrates itself to the surface. Mouse feet are not the best, but definitely not the worst. They offer a smooth glide and average resistance. Unfortunately, no replacements are in the box, which is a bit of a letdown at this price point. The cable is a million times better than on the previous models of this product line, that's for sure. It finally has a stress relief at its entry point, and it's very light and flexible. It's one of the best mouse cables out there right now without a doubt, and I'm really glad Logitech put effort into it. As for the software, you have 2 options, Logitech Gaming Software LGS for short, and Logitech G Hub. I would personally go with LGS, but it's a matter of personal preference. The former is rather lightweight, very intuitive, and easy to use, while having all the customization options you could ask for. I couldn't detect any bugs while using it either. You can also delete it if you don't want it installed since the mouse has onboard memory for the settings. RGB lighting hasn't been included, which gives this mouse a true old-school look and feel. While the GMX518 is a truly fantastic successor to the MX500 throne, the gaming peripherals market has changed a lot since the first iteration came out. I would gladly recommend it to anyone who finds the shape and specifications suitable for their needs. Hopefully, this model will be as long-lasting as the original MX518, which would have it become a true legend as well.